Hello, my Mela Shrinks people. It's me, Mela. I just had my thighplasty surgery and don't know what it's called. Skin removed from my back as well. That was done on the 19th of August. And how fresh and lovely I look today. How not fresh and lovely I looked not that long ago. So this is going to be a little bit rough. I usually just go off the cuff. I'm not scripted ever. It's just off the top of my head info for you to know. But I really, really, really feel it's important that everyone knows, while it's still fresh on the top of my head, what a thighplasty entails, because I was not prepared properly and it was no less than horrific. Nothing went wrong. It's just a lot that was not told to me. And I want to make sure you all know if you're considering it. I don't think I wouldn't have done it had I had all the information. I think I would have known what to expect. I would still have experienced the things that I experienced, but I would have known they were normal. I would have been prepared with certain items that I needed to get through and make myself more comfortable. And I probably wouldn't have gotten to the very, very dark headspace that I got into when things in recovery were just miserable. So thought I'd share these things with you. So let's start with a couple things. First of all, it is a very difficult freaking surgery to recover from. I was told different. I was told it was one of the easiest. As many of you may know, I had my arms, here's one of them, done, and my breast done at the same time in May. And that recovery was great. I was told this would be even easier than that. It was not easier than that. And the back part of the surgery, I mean, the legs were so bad I forgot I had the back done. And then I was like, oh yeah, I had the back done, and it feels great. There was almost no recovery or anything associated with the back skin removal, so that went swimmingly. Thigh part, not so much. So no, it's the hardest one. I'm also having a 360 or a circumferential body lift done in December. That is when they do your stomach, your hips, and your butt at the same time. That to me was going to be the hardest one. No, I found out that that's not true, that the thighs are the hardest. So I'm going to do a lot more research on the other, and I'm also going to start listing questions to ask my doctor and the nurses before that one to assure that I can deal with anything but uncertainty and ambiguity. You can tell me the worst news in the world. I will take a moment, vent, and I will make a plan and get through it. Throw no information at me and I'm a disaster. So you may or may not be the same way, but I would love to have heard what I'm going to be telling you now. So first of all, it is awful. Not pain-wise, but the discomfort and the swelling is unimaginable. And for someone who has had gastric bypass surgery and cannot have any anti-inflammatories, there is no fending off any type of swelling besides drinking a lot of water, keeping low sodium, and then walking as much as you can. That's your only way to fend it off, and it's brutal. So you basically got 2 incisions, one in each thigh. Obviously you have 2 thighs, and they go from where your thigh meets on the inside of your thigh, where your thigh meets your knee, like where the bend is, goes straight up until there's no more thigh, and we know what's up there. Okay, so you've got 2 of those, and so when you have one on each thigh going up until there's no more thigh, and we know what's up there, the end of your incision, what's in between? Your lady bits. Okay, so now I'm going to try to do this as PG as possible. So you've got 2 very long incisions ending right on either side of your lady bits. Right behind that are your butt cheeks. So you've got your thighs that have been cut into, swelling like crazy. The swelling actually begins from your hips down all the way to your toes. And so then you have your butt cheeks swollen. And so your butt cheeks, you go under, your lady bits, swollen, and your thighs, swollen. So you have all of this swollenness fighting for space in a very small area between your legs. And it just feels like someone stuffed a bag full of billiard balls up between your legs and told you to walk around with it. And I don't know any other way to explain that but that. There's a lot of sweating and surgical smells and other things. It's not fun. And I'm not trying to be gross. I just wish I'd have known all of these things. You cannot sit down on a toilet, a regular sized toilet. Cannot be done. So until I figured out how to get past that, I was peeing in a cup, standing up. My sister found this lovely item I will share with you now. It's a raised toilet seat for $33. It's this thing right here. It just sits right on top of your toilet seat. It squishes a little bit when you sit on it, and it raises it up about 8 inches, which is absolutely 1 bazillion% necessary and required in order for you to go potty. This is vital. You will have drains. This was not communicated to me. So the drains are there. Most people know what drains are, but just to inform you, they're tubes that come out of part of your body, and it drains fluids so that they don't build up in your body and cause infection, and so that they relieve some of the swelling. I had 4 drains that I wasn't expecting. I had 1 in each side of my back where he did my back, and they came out to the front, so I was able to access them from the front here. And you need big old button-up, zip-up, moo-moo things to survive during this recovery. And then there are 2 drains that come out on the insides of your knees where the incision ends. The pain was not bad because the doc will use nerve blocks. However, the area where the drains come out of your body is just a raw hole in your body where the tube comes out, and any movement of that will cause a pretty significant amount of pain. So just moving around, those things, they're clipped and whatever, you try not to let them dangle, but sometimes they'll hit on something and move a little bit, or Lord help me, I got up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, and the ones for my arms had come unclipped and were hanging, and I didn't realize it, and I laid down in bed and they got stuck under my thighs and literally were just pulling. Anyway, I woke up in significant pain, realized what it was, fixed it, and it was all good. I'm not telling you this stuff to gross you out. I just wish I had the whole tea on the situation that was going to happen to me. Again, the only way to get rid of the swelling, if you can't take anti-inflammatories, I tried turmeric. I don't know if it worked. They said it could. I don't know. I took it. Didn't hurt. But water, lots of water, and protein. There are some really great protein supplements that you can put in water. I would suggest finding those. The one that I use is called Protein X, and it comes in watermelon flavor, and I get it on Amazon. I've been using that for almost 2 years since I had my gastric bypass. It's great, tastes decent, but you want to get a lot of protein, like 90 grams a day, which you should be getting anyway. Tons of water, and then walking maybe about 10 minutes every 2 hours. Wicked important. Even if you have anti-inflammatories and you can take them, you have to do this, or the swelling will not go down in that horrible, disgusting feeling of discomfort that I explained earlier will not go away as soon, and you may have to keep your drains in longer. I was fortunate to where my drains were able to come out 3 days after surgery, which is, thank God, they could have been in there up to a week. You're gonna need help for at least 7 days. I had my sister here with me for 5 days. I am single and live with my dog, who was away because, I mean, whoops, you can see him. He's pretty big. He's a Great Dane. I could not manage him and myself, especially when he gets affectionate and loves to rub on my legs, which is not an option. So it was just me in my head in my misery when she left after 5 days, and it was a tough couple of days. Especially if you're someone like myself that doesn't like to tell your friends or family that you need additional assistance, and you just sit around and feel bad for yourself and your head spins and whatnot. But that's me. But I would say you would want somebody with you at least for 7 days. And I already talked about this, but I put number 7. Swelling, oh my God. I have never seen swelling like this. What they don't tell you, or what I wasn't told anyway, is that you're going to need to wear compression garments from the tops of your thighs to your ankles for 4 to 6 weeks. The swelling won't be completely gone for a couple of months, and you can't drive for couple weeks, 2 weeks after the surgery. So if you have a job that precludes all of those things, you might have a problem. Fortunately, I live in, it's the summer still. I work from home. I can wear this I just bought a bunch of really cheap sundresses from Amazon. That is all I will be wearing until I can get through this, because I don't know when my jeans are going to fit again with the swelling going down. And there are some good and bad ways to handle the compression garments. So they'll give you these wrap things, and I would suggest you buy more from Amazon. Buy them as wide as you can. It's 6 inches and 15 feet long. So they just wrap around almost like an ace bandage, and they connect to themselves. I'm getting another compression document for my compression thing, I'm losing my words, garment for my thighs tomorrow. It should be a Velcro one-piece thing that I can wrap around. It's like a sports compression garment. I'm hoping that will do the trick, so I won't have to wrap these around my thighs 10 times a day, because they do get loose as your legs will become more and less swollen during the day. It is variable, it changes. But these things you can get pretty cheap on Amazon. Get a bunch of them so you can wash them and have clean ones. I use these for my thighs, and then I got these for my calves, and I got these on Amazon too. And I don't know what brand they are, but oh, do they have it on here? I thought I saw BSERA. BSERA. These are shockingly comfortable. Make sure you measure and get the right size for you. They're compressive, yet I don't feel like my circulation is being cut off, and I live in a warm climate, and I don't feel them at all on me. I walk the dog now, and I don't feel hot with these on. They breathe really well. Highly recommend these. Super cheap. I think these are $15 for a pair of 2. 2 pairs, like 4 of these. So we're clear. Can't really wear underwear because you can't really have that fabric going under. Let's explain the whole incision lady bits situation. But I did buy some extra large, just so that they're not really touching me, bike shorts, long ones. So I have the compression wraps on my thighs, and then I put these on, and then I have, again, these on my calves. Now I am very comfortable. It did take, surgery was on a Thursday. It did take till the following Saturday, 9 days, until I actually felt comfortable. You're also going to want to rent a recliner to sleep in that lifts and helps you stand. you're not going to really need that for more than a week. I didn't need it as long as I needed it for my other surgeries because it involved muscles. So the legs are just really involving skin mostly. And once those drains are gone, there isn't a whole lot of pain. I only took pain meds from Thursday surgery until that next Tuesday. So Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday morning at 2 a.m. the 6th day was the last time I took pain meds, and I haven't needed them since. So the pain, again, isn't the thing. It's the complete and utter disgustingness of yourself and inability to move well, and the swelling that just is unbearable. Swelling can cause blisters. So when your skin swells to a degree where your skin is so taut, oftentimes, sometimes the top of the layer, oftentimes, sometimes, whatever, I just contradicted myself. The top layer of your skin can become removed from the next layer and cause a blister. Blisters are blisters, you leave them alone until they go away. Problem with my blisters is that it occurred after tape was put on that part of my skin. Now, in the beginning, they'll just have bandages wrapped around your legs before you put the compression garment on. And those bandages kept falling down, sliding down. So I took some of the tape that I got from the doctor, and I just taped it at the top of my leg so they wouldn't keep slipping down. And lucky for me, a blister formed after the tape was put on my leg. And maybe because I put the tape on my leg, I don't know. However, the doctor meant to give me the paper tape. Use paper medical tape. I cannot stress this to you enough. Use paper medical tape. The plastic medical tape will literally rip your skin right off of your body. So I have some fun little spots there. Not just in the fact that I had the blister right under there. So I have about this big of a spot on my leg where just rip the whole, anyway. But it will irritate and rip off just because the skin is so sensitive right there because it's pulled so tautly. It can just pull skin right off of your leg. So don't use plastic medical tape. Use paper medical tape. All right, I think I covered that. No pants will be worn for at least 4 weeks or until my body becomes the size that it needs to be to fit into my pants. I talked about the compression. Always make sure you set your alarm during the days that you will be taking your pain medication so you wake up in the middle of the night and take them. Usually it's every 4 hours. Don't think you can just sleep through it and wake up because by then the breakthrough pain has come and it takes a couple hours to get past the breakthrough pain. So for the first maybe 4 or 5 days, you're going to want to set your alarm every 4 hours normally, depending on how your doctor prescribes what medication they give you. Wake up, take your pain meds, go back to sleep. If you're like me and you've had gastric bypass and you cannot swallow pills, get a pill grinder and get a little containers. They have containers for, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. There are these other containers you can use. I just use those, or I just pre-ground the pills of the doses that I need and kept them near my bed so I could just set my alarm clock, wake up, pour that nasty powder in my mouth and take a drink and get rid of it and go back to sleep. So you cannot take, or they say you can, it's not worth the risk for me, anti-anxiety medication with hydrocodone. There are different schools of thought on that. However, the anti-anxiety med that I take is a respiratory inhibitor, and so is the hydrocodone that they gave me for pain. So you put 2 respiratory inhibitors together and you run the risk of your body saying, hey, we're not going to breathe anymore. So I didn't want to take that risk. Even though the pharmacist said it was okay, it just didn't sit well with me. So being able to be off the pain meds pretty quickly was good for me because I was having trouble sleeping, and many times that anti-anxiety med does help me off to sleep, or when I was having those difficult moments by myself, I was able to take the anti-anxiety medication. Tools. We're going to need more gauze. So some of the tools that you're going to need I've already shown you. The compression garments, the bikey shorts that don't fit like underwear, so you don't get them all caught up in those areas where you don't want them to get caught up in. And the toilet seat thing, I cannot stress this enough. This is a game changer for $33. You're also going to need extra gauze on hand for the day or so before you put on your compression garments when your leg is just bandaged, because those like to get loose and fall off. So just go to Walgreens or whatever and get the biggest like roll of gauze, because you're just going to wrap it around your leg and tape it with what? Paper tape. Very good. I heard you. The recliner, we already talked about the recliner. And then the other thing you're probably going to want to get is a sleep wedge. Those are pretty cheap. You can get those. Amazon is my friend. I am always on Amazon. A sleep wedge, you can get the kind where it's adjustable as far as how much it inclines. And you can prop yourself up with some pillows and then put the sleep wedge underneath your knees for when you're done with the recliner. Or you're just in your living room and you want to chill while you're recuperating and watch the entire of Netflix. There is no Netflix left for me. I've seen it all. And you just prop it up under your knees so that your knees are raised a bit, and so your thighs are raised a bit. It does help with some of the oh my God, the swelling. So that is the story, the 20-minute story. I'm sorry this is so long. This is just a lot of information that I really wish I would have had. Again, I probably still would have had the surgery. The shape of my leg, a little swollen, looks amazing. I know it's going to be an unbelievable outcome once it's done. There was just a lot of times where I just sat there not knowing, is this supposed to be happening to me? And then calling my doctor's office and then crying. And it doesn't really speak to my doctor's office. I've had several surgeries in my lifetime, and I've unfortunately been blessed, if you will, with dogs that have had cancer. So I've had a lot of dogs that have gone through cancer surgery, including amputations. I've had a dog go through ACL. So I've dealt with a lot of surgeons in general, and dog surgeons, people surgeons are still cutting into you. They don't always give you all the information if you don't ask all the questions. I heard this is going to be easier than the last surgery, and my mistake was not to ask any questions and not to go look online for any information. While I was going through the recovery, I did go online and do the research I should have done ahead of time, and a lot of this information was there. Not necessarily the things you should buy and whatnot, but as far as the recovery time, the swelling, having to be in compression garments for up to 6 weeks, those things that in the drains, all those things that I could have seen and asked my surgeon about. So I've always walked away from a surgical situation saying, why didn't they tell me that? I'm not giving him any excuse. I'm just saying it happens all the time. So you have to do your research and you have to ask the questions. And if you don't know what questions to ask, just do the research. And as you do the research and you see what the interwebs have to say about it, it's going to prompt questions in your head. Is that going to happen to me? Or it might make you think of something else. So write down your questions, then ask your doctor. When you have something like this, the last thing you want to be is in the middle of the night wondering if what is happening to you is normal. And especially if you are a single individual, one of the loneliest feelings that you can ever have is being alone in the middle of the night and having something physically happening to you, or a symptom of some kind, and you don't know if it's normal, and you don't know what to do, and it's terrifying you, and you're just there by yourself. So I encourage you, with any procedure you're going to do all your research, write down your questions, ask all your questions of your doctor. During the middle of all this, I thought, screw it, I'm not doing the next surgery. But, I'm past that now. I can't have my top done, and then my bottom done, and then my middle still be all squishy and have all that skin hanging. That just can't happen. So I will be having that final one done in December, but I really wanted to share all of this with you all while it was still fresh in my mind and in my emotions, so you could really get the feeling of what it was like so that you can hopefully mitigate that for yourself. Knowing all of these things and knowing these things are normal and having the tools with me and having everything I needed and not like, oh, I got to order this at Amazon. How fast can they deliver? Can you get a neighbor to go run and buy something for you? It's just, it's stress you don't need. And I just hope that this helps anyone out there that's considering having thighplasty to learn from my mistakes, and maybe you can think of some questions of your own to ask your doc. So anyway, there you have it. Thanks everybody. I will see you maybe in a couple weeks. I'll keep you updated on my recovery as it goes. And then once this is completed, then in December, once I go in for the 360 or the circumferential body lift, I will start over with that adventure, and that will be my last adventure, hopefully, of this 2-year weight loss journey that we began on December 9th of 2019 with the gastric bypass, and will hopefully end on December 2nd, 2021 with my circumferential body lift. And I'm glad those of you who have stuck around to hear all these crazy stories have been here with me, and I hope this helps. Thanks.